Welcome back.
Hey, Stanley.
Yeah, George?
How'd you like your own TV show?
Hey, I got something to mail you out.
Oh, you be careful now, you hear? Before you go and say something you're going to regret for the rest of your days.
Like what? Like the wrong kid died?
Oh, no!
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of The Wrong Podcast Died. I'm Brian.
And I'm Rod.
And we have a special guest this episode, and his name's Joe, and I am not going to try to butcher your last name. I will let you say that, Joe.
Yeah, I've got some great iterations of it, I can tell you that, but it's Joe Chianakas. That's how you say the last name.
Yeah, I was actually with my cousin today, and she said, "What are you guys doing tonight?" And I said, "I'm recording an episode of the podcast, and we have a guest coming on." And I said, "Here's his name, and here's about his book." And I said, "I have no idea how to say it. I'm going to let him do it."
Yeah, I'll tell you, Chianakas, Chia Pet, Chicken Ass, I've heard it all, but Chianakas is how it goes.
Chianakas. She actually got really close to the name. And we're going to talk about your book on the second part of the show. So this episode's going to be a little different. Usually we cover a movie and then we cover the time frame around that movie. The news, the music, the movies, the TV. But on the second part of this episode, we're going to talk about your book.
And it's got some really interesting parallels to Stand By Me, so it's perfect. You guys didn't even know that, but it's perfect.
Yeah, and we had talked back and forth via email, and I was like, what do you have for your favorite horror films? And you listed a lot of newer stuff, a lot of A24 stuff. It's hard with newer stuff because there's not a lot of deaths or bursts or significant stuff that comes up with those. I was like, I want to do Stand By Me. How about that? And I threw that to you in an email, and you bit.
Yeah, right away. It's a longtime favorite. I'm an 80s child, all right? So, I mean, I've been watching 80s horror movies since they literally dropped in the 80s. And Stand By Me was just one you watched every summer vacation and every time you just were craving summer vacation. So I'm really excited to talk about it, yeah.
So Stand By Me is a 1986 American coming-of-age drama film directed by Rob Reiner, based on Stephen King's 1982 novella, The Body, set in, where else would it be set? Castle Rock, Oregon, in 1959. I didn't know that when I watched the film. I was like, what year is this? I thought maybe it was the 60s.
It's pretty close. And here's the thing with Stephen King is that I was trying to find out, because I know there's Castle Rock, Maine, and I knew there was Castle Rock, Oregon. Trying to figure out which stories are which state. It doesn't really tell you much if you Google it.
I was just going to say, if you think about perspective, it was written in the 80s, but takes place in the 50s. I mean, there's all those other layers too.
So it stars an amazing cast. Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, Jerry O'Connell. Who's the guy from The Lost Boys? I could see his damn face.
Oh, Kiefer Sutherland.
And it's about four boys that set out on a journey to find a dead body of a missing boy. And of course, the name of the movie is from B.B. King's song from 1961, which plays over the closing credits.
So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
I love this film. It sounds like Joe loves this film. We'll find out, because we do rate a film at the end out of 5. We'll have to find out if Rod likes this film.
Maybe.
And we're both horror fans, and it sounds like Joe's a horror fan.
Absolutely.
I like Stephen King stuff that's not considered horror more than I like his stuff that's adapted that is horror. This film, Shawshank Redemption, Misery's kind of on the verge there.
You're spot on, though. Like, he has amazing books. Sometimes they are very hard to adapt to the screen. But you're right, Shawshank is always in people's tops. The Green Mile. There's a lot of other great ones that aren't just about scares.
But I always like those more than any of the stuff that he has written that's horror that's adapted to the screen.
Yeah, it's really not easy for those directors to adapt his horror because he's out there. I mean, it's hard to describe some of the stuff that he writes down.
Positive reviews upon release, commercial success, nominated for Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay and for 2 Golden Globe Awards for Best Drama and Best Director. Rolling Stone has called Stand By Me a staple of youthful nostalgia and a rare movie that necessarily gets better with time.
Yeah, I would say that because I had not seen this in probably 20 years easily. And I watched it like 3 times in the last 24 hours.
You watched it 3 times?
Yeah, because if I own it and there's commentary, I like to listen to the commentary. It's Rob Reiner talking about it, and you get a lot of insight into it because he talks about all the like the slang that comes from the kids are saying. It's from his childhood.
Like piss up a rope.
Like the skin it where they're slapping hands, and 2 for flinching. I mean, we probably all heard that, but that was a big thing when he was a kid. The funny thing he talks about is when, I think it's Gordy, Will Wheaton's character, says something like cock knocker. And he goes, well, that wasn't from me. That was Stephen King in his childhood. And he said, like, we had very different childhoods.
The slang is very unique, but King does that a lot in his books too. So it just is a perfect connection. Yeah.
I mean, if anybody's never seen this film about 4 young friends, they're 12, because you're getting it from the perspective of one of the friends. He's an adult now. He has kids. He's a writer. So you're getting it from his perspective. There's a boy that goes missing. He's been missing for days or weeks. They find out where the body is from the group of hooligans that are in the town. One of the boys is related to the brother who has saw the body. They had lifted a car, and they see the body, and they don't want to tell anybody because they think they'll get in trouble for stealing the car. So the younger boys decide to go tell their parents. They're all staying. I'm staying at Joe's, and Joe's staying at Rod's, and Rod's staying at my house. So none of our parents know where any of us are at because we're all staying at each other's houses. And there wasn't cell phones back then, so you couldn't track everybody.
And all the parents suck.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, all the parents suck because, well, I mean, Will Wheaton's character, his parents, he lost a brother. So his parents are still grieving that, and they're not really paying attention to him. And it doesn't seem like his dad really cared about him to begin with.
The kids are fantastic, aren't they? It's like the adults are annoying in this story, but those kids are fantastic.
Every adult in this film you dislike, right?
Yeah, they all treat these children terribly. They pick fights with kids.
The shop owner, you end up not liking him because he only wants Will Wheaton's character to play football. That's all he cares about.
Well, Gordy's father, which he's played by Marshall Bell. Now, if you remember a horror movie from 1985, maybe Freddy's Revenge, The Coach.
You know, Schneider shouldn't have called you out on that last play.
Yeah, well, Schneider got a stick up his ass today.
Schneider's always got a stick up his ass.
Hello, dirtball.
That's him.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Oh my gosh. As soon as you said that, I can picture him perfectly. Oh my gosh.
But his acting in this was really dry, though. No emotion. And Rob goes, yeah, he said basically he was dry. And he goes, yeah, but he's a crazy guy. And I was kind of wondering, why did he let him take it? Maybe because he's kind of feels dead inside or something like that.
And who else do you meet? You meet the shop owner, you meet the parents.
The junkyard guy.
The junkyard guy is just a grumpy old asshole, right? Just a grumpy. I mean, they weren't really doing anything. They were just in the junkyard.
He just goes in at Teddy about Teddy's dad. And again, it's like, who would attack a child and tear them apart like that? And that seems to be a very common theme.
Yeah, and the group of hooligans, they're kids, but they're still older kids. They're not nice to any of the kids. I can't imagine that they didn't know that was his brother's hat when they steal it from him.
Yeah, I did not know when I had seen this like 20 years ago that like 2 of them are related to, they have brothers in that gang. The one that takes the hat and puts it on, his eyeball, that's Chris's brother. And then Vern, played by Jerry O'Connell, his brother is the dark-haired one that found the body with the blonde. I didn't realize that before, that they had relations. And then when you get to that point where the gang confronts the kids, the brother of Chris just hesitates a little bit, but he doesn't try to defend his brother.
Oh, then get him stabbed over the body.
Oh yeah, they're awful. Those kids they're terrible. I mean, just a complete opposite to the John Cusack brother type. And it's like, oh, and I think maybe that's probably on purpose to just show these very different types of relationships.
Yeah, so it's pretty much you follow the younger group through the film. You follow the older group too as they're trying to decide what they're going to do. There's 2 of them that know about the body. But you get that they're bashing mailboxes. They're playing chicken. They're going fishing. They're doing things that you would probably do in Oregon if you grew up at that time period. The other kids are off camping. They're going through the swamp. They're racing the train. And Rod and I watch a lot of short films because we have a segment on the podcast. It's on YouTube called Salute the Shorts. And that short film and story in this is perfect. And what we come across a lot is people do what, is it Vern is the Feldman kid?
No, Feldman is Teddy. Vern is Jerry O'Connell.
Teddy's like, oh, well, what happened to him? What happened to Lard-Ass? And that's what we run into a lot with people is they drag their shorts out way too long. That's a perfect story for Fire, for a short film. You get the point and you get the ending. That's all you need.
Yeah, and I wonder too, if you don't know, King's been been criticized so frequently for his endings, and that's a popular thing. The readers, of course, devour the stories, but still like to criticize his endings. So I couldn't help but wonder if that wasn't even sort of a dig at critics who might say, well, I like the story, but it's a stupid ending. You know, you hear that a lot.
I do have a gripe about this story, though.
Oh, tell us.
Now, they're eating those blueberry pies, and Lard-Ass is like eating it, and then he says, finished. He is clearly not finished. What is going on with this contest? Who's supervising this?
It's one of the water buffaloes, or it's one of the old guys from yeah, because he's got a flag, and Lard-Ass says done, and he waves the flag and takes the pie away. Yeah, just a great film. I love this film. You get to the ending, and probably the line of the film. He saves this line till the very end of the film. And this film did one thing I love that a lot of films don't do. It tells you what happens to the kids when they're older. Some of it's sad, some of it's not sad. Well, actually, most of it's sad, right?
Well, Vern, he's like got a bunch of kids and works in a factory.
Eddie's been arrested. He was in jail, and now he's just doing random jobs. It's depressing.
Oh, no, that's Teddy.
That's Teddy, yeah. Vern's the one with the kids. Chris gets out of town.
So him and Gordy actually have a decent life because they both go to college, and Chris becomes a lawyer.
Yeah, but then he's stabbed at a Burger King or something, and then he dies right away.
Oh, that's what happens when you go to Burger King. Come on.
Have it your way. Have it your way. Have it your way at Burger King.
Well, I guess. The line of the film, though, is that I never had any friends like I did when I was 12. And I don't know about you guys, but I've never had any friends like I did when I was 12.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those friends I don't even talk to anymore.
Yeah.
But
it's exactly why it's just that perfect childhood nostalgic movie, because you're absolutely right. We all have these random friends who are stupid or got into trouble. I mean, those stereotypes work so well in the movie because they're real. And you're right. We'll never have that again. We'll never have that magic of childhood. And I think that's what a lot of the movie is. Again, I just keep thinking every adult, even in the pie eating contest, every adult is bad. They call this kid Lard-Ass. And so I'm like, I do wonder if it isn't, there's some sort of almost criticism of that, of what happens when we grow up if we don't make conscious choices to become good. That's why Chris goes to law school, and they have that great conversation about going into, the honors track or whatever in junior high. And Gordy doesn't want to, he doesn't want to be a pussy and leave his friends. And I just, and Chris is like, how dare, we are not friends if you don't go do it. But then think about that ending. So yeah, it's really sad, but it is beautiful too.
And then he drives away in a Jeep.
Yeah.
Right? Did you notice that, Rod?
Yeah.
His brother is killed in a Jeep accident, and he drives away in a Jeep. And I'm like, I have never noticed that.
Wow.
All the times I've watched this film.
No, yeah, I didn't think about it till now.
It's not streaming anywhere. I own a copy of it. I don't know where you watch it.
Yeah, how'd you see it, Joe?
It's on Netflix until the end of the month. So it leaves February 28th. So by the time people listen, it's gone. But yes, I watched it on Netflix this weekend.
It was released on VHS on March 19th in 1987. A DVD was issued August 29, 2000 with director's commentary, multiple language options, screen selections, and a feature entitled Walking the Tracks, The Summer of Stand By Me. The film was reissued on Blu-ray in 2011 and again on 4K with Blu-ray in 2019. So several options. I was actually at Goodwill yesterday before this recording, the day before, and there was a DVD copy of it. I was like, for $1, I almost grabbed it. Oh, I should just grab this film just to give away or so it'll find a good home.
I was going to go into a little bit some of the things in there, like when they're flipping the coin and he calls it a goocher when they all get tails. I guess that's a thing. And then I saw, but it wasn't confirmed. I couldn't confirm it. Evidently, when you flip it and it's all heads, it's called a moon. But that was like on Reddit. So it's like 50-50 chance it's true.
There are definitely some things I heard in the movie words I did not know. And I probably should have looked more up.
Some of the other little trivia things from it. It was filmed in California and Oregon, so they kind of went back and forth. They did do some studio work, like the night shots, because the kids couldn't work at night. And you may be wondering, did those kids really smoke cigarettes? And that's one thing that a lot of people got on about, but they were actually lettuce leaves, is what Rob Reiner says.
Oh, because they look like they're really smoking. Like compared to anything you would see today, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're smoking. I really thought they were. That's crazy.
Yeah, some other trivia and tourism. and events. Brownsville, Oregon has held an annual Stand By Me Day since 2007. It's had people come from all over the world. In July of 2010, they had a 25th anniversary celebration, cast and crew, Q&A, a pie eating contest, and an outdoor showing of the film. I wonder if Lard-Ass was there.
No, I was not.
No.
Oh, no.
July 23rd in 2013 was designated as Stand By Me Day, and the city has embedded a penny in the street at the location where Vern found one in the film.
Yeah, that was another thing that Rob Reiner was talking about in the commentary, is that he had a story for each of the kids, but not a good one for Vern's character. And he thought, well, why don't we just put a penny in the street, and he finds it? It'd be like he found all of his pennies that he kept digging for.
The Oscar-nominated film Boys in the Hood has several direct references to Stand By Me. Quentin Tarantino, of course, loves the banter in this film. Yeah, I mean, Attack the Block. A lot of people say there's a lot of direct, coincidences between that and this movie. Yeah, just Love and Monsters. You've seen that one? Rod, you've seen it.
I think I've seen it.
Have you seen that one, Joe?
I think so too, but it's been a while.
The guy that wrote that was inspired by Stand By Me. Just so much pop culture.
Yeah, Stephen King had said up to that point that this was the best adaptation of his that he's ever seen. 86, so I mean, he had a lot still. He had Carrie, Christine, and Cujo, and
Dead Zone, Firestarter.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Yeah, this may have been the first one, though, that wasn't straight up horror then, right? I can't think of another one before it.
No, this probably was the first, at least the first film adaptation for sure.
I guess it kind of opened doors for his other ones. And
you look at the television shows that have had references to Stand By Me. Seinfeld, The Simpsons, Rick and Morty, Family Guy.
Yeah, Family Guy did, yeah.
Yeah, all across pop culture. I mean, there's a film reference in Pokemon games. It all ties in. It's just this big, you could probably do a 6 degrees of separation from any film or TV show and come back to Stand By Me. That's how important it is.
Absolutely, especially with that cast. Yeah, absolutely.
You want to do some recommendations? Can you think of anything?
Oh gosh, I mean, off the top of my head, again, I think Stand By Me is such a good childhood movie. If you can connect other childhood movies to a journey or to understanding death, I mean, I might throw out The Bridge to Terabithia even. I would throw out Now and Then. Didn't that come out in like the 90s? It was like the female version of this, but much more lighthearted, I think, too. There's no dead bodies anyway, or trains to avoid. But you know what else I think of is Fried Green Tomatoes. Do you know that movie?
Yeah.
Like, because there's a train scene there. Like, these trains are dangerous in older movies. Like, people are constantly losing limbs or life. So, but yeah, I mean, please, I'm very curious what yours are.
Now and Then's a perfect reference if you want something that's a little newer, because that's got Rosie O'Donnell and Christina Ricci and some newer people they're a little later, because that's 90s maybe?
I think it is 90s, because I swear I think I even heard it advertised as a 90s Stand By Me. Yeah.
I don't think I've even heard of it.
Oh, really?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, it's for young girls and their friends, and it kind of goes back to when they're younger, and then it flashes forward to kind of goes back and forth, if I remember right, a little bit.
It's been a long time since I've seen that one too, but yeah, I think it is a back and forth journey and adults remembering their childhood friendships.
And that would be people that are maybe in their 30s know that film, because I mean, if you grew up in the 80s, Rod and I were both born in 78, so we're 80s kids, so we watched Stand By Me. So people that were born during the 80s probably watched The Sandlot and Now and Then.
The Sandlot, there's another good fit, because you got the dog and the legend behind that.
So what do you got, Rod? I'll let you go before I go.
Yeah, I thought of one as we were talking. The 1983, The Outsiders.
I had that on my list.
Same like this one. So many great actors. Yeah, Tom Cruise, Patrick Swayze, Emilio Estevez, Rob Lowe. I mean, and it's like a gang basically, but it's a group of friends that have to defend each other, and the youngest ones of the group, they have to help defend them.
I had that one on my list, and I also had, this is a newer film, and it's more horror than any of these, so that's where I would bring it in if you want something that's a little scarier. It's called The Summer of '84. Did you watch that one?
Yeah.
So it's a little newer, a little less maybe kid friendly. Stand By Me is pretty kid friendly for kids, maybe the age of the kids in this film. There's no nudity. There is a dead body. There's some drug use, language, no real violence because nobody gets shot or stabbed. They shoot the trash can, I guess. Yeah, Summer of '84 is more of a horror film. I even thought maybe Black Phone a little bit with the brother and the sister at the beginning. That's a little more horror horror.
You could even say Stranger Things, maybe.
Yeah, that would be something that's newer. Yeah, Stranger Things would be a great fit with this film. And that's pretty much all horror.
Yeah, in the later seasons, if the kids didn't look like they were in their 20s.
Yeah, yeah. The early seasons.
That's so true.
So what do you think? You want to rate it now?
Yeah, let's do a rating. Who wants to go first?
Should we save the guest for last?
Yeah, we'll save the guest for last. Okay, I'll go first. Revisiting this, seeing it 3 times in one day, and I forgot it's only an hour and 29 minutes. Rated R, but that was because the 80s, you either get an R rating or you got a DG rating or G. And I give this 5 out of 5 dead bodies in the woods. I loved it.
I think I'm going to go, all the things that you said. It's a great film. Finley was sitting next to me, my 6-year-old, coloring, but she would kind of catch it off and on, and I'd catch her watching it. I'm like, I thought you didn't want to watch this. I thought you wanted to watch something different. And I caught her watching it a couple times. But yeah, I'm right there with you. 5 out of 5. This is just a great film. One that you could watch every year. One that you would put on. It'd be great for like a backyard nighttime movie showing.
Yeah.
With a bonfire. 5 out of 5 lollipop dances. She was watching the kids dance and I started dancing like the kids on the train tracks. And she said, let's do the lollipop dance. I had a blast with this one. I'm so glad I found it in the box and owned it on social media or on physical media, social media. What about you, Joe?
Well, I absolutely hated it. This was the worst thing I've seen. No, you guys, you all nailed it. I mean, I really do watch it almost every summer, if not literally every summer. It holds up, even rewatching it, I think. And you just have to keep in mind, and again, it's a movie written in the 80s about the 50s. And if you understand that, it hits really well, not only those times, but it still holds true to the themes that we all experience as kids. You know, the worries that we have, the fears that we have, the magic and the imaginations that we have and the silliness, it's all there. And it's captured, in a tight 90 minutes. I love a good short movie that can just give me a good story and make it nice and concise, beautiful fit. And it's just what a movie should be. We don't need any more. It is absolutely perfect. So I would give it 5 out of 5 leeches.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
And that's a scene. Think about it. The other reason I think, seriously, I love the movie so much is that it's one, especially if you grew up with it, you think about it randomly, don't you? At any time, I feel like this movie lives rent-free in my mind. When I see railroad tracks, when I think of childhood, when I see leeches, or think of pie eating contests, there's just so many memorable moments. And so it sort of lives in our consciousness of pop culture. It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think about leeches on my...
When I go in a lake, I check anymore.
Oh, do you?
When I go swimming, now I don't randomly just think about leeches, but if I see a leech, I think about Stand By Me.
You know who else looks for leeches?
I was like, who else is a leech?
Our podcast network, the PFPN. So let's hear from them.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
So now that we've heard from our podcast network, like I said, we're not going to go to the news. We're going to talk to Joe about his book. And his book should be out by now. Should be on shelves. And it's on Amazon, right?
Yeah. Release date's March 4th. Available anywhere you buy books.
So I have some questions because we talked earlier about how Stand By Me ties into this book. So I'd love to hear that story a little bit.
The title of this book is Darkness Calls.
Yes. Darkness Calls. So I called this my Monster in the Woods story with a blend of haunted nostalgia and dark fantasy. So let me tap into the haunted nostalgia because it's the Stand By Me-like experiences that really inspire Darkness Calls. And I'll tell you, one of the random themes in Darkness Calls is this sort of question about childhood, because I love the idea of finding that moment that is the loss of innocence and the beginning of adulthood. And Stephen King and Stand By Me, they just nail that, don't they? And I have this question about when's the last time you did something for the last time? time and didn't know it. And I thought about like even riding your bike as a kid. Think about the day you put it away and you don't realize that you're putting it away for the very last day. And I just think there's something heartbreaking and kind of weird, but cool to think about in that context. So I don't know, Stand By Me and memories like that, thoughts like that got me thinking, number one, I want to bike again. So I got a bicycle in my mid 30s. And the first thing I started doing is biking through Springdale Cemetery in Peoria, Illinois, which is also connected to the Rock Island Trail. And the Rock Island Trail is a biking trail that basically follows an old railroad path. And so you still see the railroad track. And so the first time I got on a bike as an adult, I don't care if it sounds geeky, it felt like you were a kid again, right? So like I really do encourage people to think about some of those childhood joys and give them a shot. And you know, you're biking over these bridges and you're following these railroad tracks, and I'm just remembering that magic of childhood. Well, I love to explore Springdale, and as a kid, I got lost in there many times, and we made up our own stories, just kind of like the pie eating contest or kind of like Bridge to Terabithia, but our own little witches circle stories and people who had gotten kidnapped and lost. And we heard legends about bodies that had been found in there, you know, so many cool stories like that. And I also remember an experience where one day we got lost and we just found something that was really unique, cool, and random and has nothing to do with the cemetery so much. Became this landmark of childhood destination we just really needed to try to get to because you couldn't get through it without going through trails, the woods, and all sorts of things. I don't want to tell you what it is yet, but so you picture all of that, and I started thinking about a monster in the woods story that was guarding a secret, something really kind of special that kids in my story discovered when they were young. And I started creating sort of this fictional story around it while I was the same time as an adult. I'm exploring Springdale and I'm like, did this thing happen? Did I find that thing that I think I found? Or am I just making this up? Have I seen too many movies? I don't know, right? And so I'm biking as an adult, exploring every part of the cemetery. And I swear to you guys, one day I saw the railroad tracks. They kind of lead outside of the cemetery. I start following these railroad tracks. I go over a little bridge. It's just like Stand By Me. I'm not even making it up. And then off to the side is this thing that In Darkness Calls, I call The Secret. So you got to read the book to know what I found, but it really exists outside of Springdale Cemetery. It's this cool thing that I use just as a fictional kind of a place of supernatural magic, if you will, in the story. And that's the cool connection to Stand By Me, is I just think whether it's that movie or movies like it, they just inspire that sort of joyful curiosity and childhood nostalgia. And I wanted to try to capture that in a monster in the woods horror story that I hope is scary as it is nostalgic. And that's sort of Darkness Calls in a nutshell.
And this isn't your first at all. Like, you have several novels or a trilogy even.
You know, maybe as a parent, sometimes you joke that maybe you'll get it right the next time around or something. I don't know. That's my hope with Darkness Calls. I've learned so much from these other books and put them all into it. You know, here's a fun fact. 10 years ago yesterday from this recording, I got my first book contract, and it was for Rabbit in Red, which is a trilogy for people who just love scary stories. I took all this trivial knowledge I had, like you guys have too, about like all the movies that we love. And I always wanted to be a writer. And I just had this idea to create a Willy Wonka / Ready Player One version of horror that I could throw all this trivial knowledge into. And so Rabbit in Red is a celebration of everything that we love, of movies and books and anything that scares us and everything Halloween. And that was 10 years ago. So this is a big full circle moment for me. I'm a full-time professor. I teach communication classes and creative writing courses, but writing is, you know, my second career. Darkness Calls is doing really well in terms of just word of mouth stuff that we're doing thanks to cool interviews and stuff like this. But I'm really hopeful that this might be kind of the next big thing. But yeah, I've been writing for a long time, and I just love telling stories and trying to be a part of the thing that we all love.
And I am not a reader. I told you earlier, Joe, I read subtitled Italian horror films. But Rod is a reader, and we had to wait until he was done with the third chapter of the book. We're talking, Joe and I, and Rod's looking at his phone, reading the book. I'm like, come on, Rod. He couldn't stop reading. And I know Rod has read a lot of books. He's seen a ton of movies. So if it's something that can keep his interest and he can't put down, it's got to be good. I mean, he's seen some really bad stuff. If it's something that he wants to look at and keep reading, I trust that it's really good.
Well, I appreciate that. And thank you guys. You know, I don't want to set the bar like ridiculously high or anything like that. I'm just really trying to tell a good story, but I worked hard on this. You know, I've been working on this one for years. It's the first book I wrote after my mom died. My mom passed away to cancer in 2016. She actually came to my Rabbit in Red book signing, got to be a part of my first ever book, but she died that following year. So she never got to see anything since that. And this is kind of a book written not only out of grief, because if you really want to make a scary monster, I want a monster that can kill anyone at any time for any reason. That's cancer, isn't it? And so my monster in the woods kind of has that meaning, I think, behind it. And at the the same time, I get to write a story that I hope she would appreciate, because she's the reason I love scary stories. I had the cool mom that let me watch R-rated movies. She let me get into Michael Myers when I was like 7, 8 years old. And I loved it. So that's probably why I love Halloween too. I do hope it is good, and I hope people enjoy it. I'll tell you this, I have an editor who just is very honest, and he's said some critical things to me about my writing over the years that we've worked together. But when we finished Darkness Calls and he got to the end of it, he just put in all caps 2 words to me and said, fucking banger. And I just hope that's true. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's kind of like you talked about doing something for the last time and how it, in hindsight, changes you as you look back on it. And I would imagine your mom's passing changed you as a person and as a writer and affects you every day. And not that you want that push in that direction, because you never want someone you care about to be gone, but
it allows me to share a perspective, right? I mean, that's all that a storyteller is trying to share different perspectives on things. I have a line that I think just popped in my head when you were saying that, and it's a line a character says to another when they've lost a family member, they've lost a loved one in the story, and the character says something like, grief is only a language that can be spoken by those who truly experienced it. Anybody else is just saying words to kind of fill the air and be nice. And so they have this conversation, this moment together, and again, I think that you don't really get that until you've experienced that level of pain. Yeah. And so it's real and it's raw in the story. Yeah, of course, I've got my supernatural stuff and my fun stuff, and I want to make people laugh at times too. But I also hope if I can provide any kind of scares, I can do it with a lot of heart.
So I had some other questions for you. Favorite Stephen King book?
Oh, okay. I know it's, it's just like asking someone their favorite movie, right? It depends on the day. I love The Shining. That one really was one of the first ones I read that I just stayed up all night. I couldn't go to bed. It literally kept me up. I remember the sun coming up and I'm still reading The Shining because I was like, I can't sleep until I finish this. So that's up there. The Dark Tower series.
Yeah, I've read that over and over at least 3 times.
Rod, my first line in Rabbit in Red is a tribute to The Dark Tower. And my first line is, Bill chased the rabbit in red and his best friend Jamie followed. And in The Dark Tower, it's the man in black fled across the desert and the gunslinger followed. So I really try to create the perfect parallel between those two. That's so I love The Dark Tower series for sure. So The Dark Tower, The Stand, The Shining. I know you said one. If I had to pick one, probably The Shining.
What about a favorite movie adaptation from a Stephen King, either book or short story?
Oh, gosh. You know what I really love is, because we already talked about Shawshank a little bit, and I do love that. And I love Green Mile, and obviously Stand By Me. But if I wanted to pick something completely random, I love Dolores Claiborne. Have you guys seen that one?
I have not been meaning to.
It's not strictly a scary movie. Again, it's almost more of a drama. I love it because, again, I just love his universe. It takes place during an eclipse, the same eclipse at the same time as is happening in Gerald's Game, if you know that story. But in Dolores Claiborne, she's a woman that, without spoiling anything, has a really terrible husband, and she's going to do something about it during the eclipse, and it's whether she can get away with it and all the drama behind it. And it's played by Kathy Bates, and how can you not love Kathy Bates? So that's one that I love rewatching a lot too, just because it's just got that atmospheric vibe. It's so well done.
And it is absolutely crazy how the universe works, because I threw this film at you and you wanted to watch it and cover it with us. Dolores Claiborne has actually came up at my work for probably the last month. One of the girls that works there is a big horror fan, and she's like, have you ever seen this film? And I'm like, no. She's like, watch the trailer. And maybe once or twice a week, have you watched it yet? Have you watched it yet? I'm like, no, I need to watch this film. So it's just weird how the universe, 6 degrees of separation, it works.
Check it out. I think you guys will like it. It's a good movie for sure. Will it be 5 out of 5? I'd be very curious. I'd say 4 out of 5 for sure. I bet you could get up there.
We could put it on the list because we'll eventually need something from the 90s, to cover on the show. Top 10 movies of all time.
Let's put him on the spot, man.
Of any genre? Oh my gosh.
Any genre, or even top 3.
Let's do top 3 if you guys will do top 3 with me.
Okay.
All right, I'll give you at least one that's up there that's newer. I love Everything Everywhere All at Once. That is my new Everyone Has to See. Everyone has to see Everyone Everywhere All at Once. I just think it's super imaginative and funny, and it's full of action, and oh my gosh, it's brilliant.
I actually saw that one in theaters. Did you see that one in theaters, Rod?
No, I didn't. I bought it, and I still haven't watched the damn thing.
Well, damn it, you gotta watch it.
Like you guys, I have a lot of physical media, but I've certainly slowed way down compared to what I used to do. That's one of the ones I had to get on 4K for sure.
I'm speeding up.
Yes.
I can give you my top 3 right off the top of my head.
All right.
Shawshank Redemption, Life as a House, and American History X.
Okay, so first of all, I just have to say get the fuck out. I have said Life as a House is one of my favorites before, and it's due to one of my best friend. My best friend Brandy made me watch this movie. Oh God, it was slipping my mind, but it is a beautiful movie because it's got Hayden Christensen as a son, and it's got if you were to ask me one of my all-time favorite, like, gut punch cry scenes, it comes in the moment where he says to his father, so all this was a trick to get you to love me? And that moment when he finds out and the dad said, Kevin Kline's character says yes. I said, well, no, but I mean, yes, and whatever. I forget how he answers, but Hayden says, well, congratulations, because it fucking paid off, and he storms out. His dad's dying of cancer, and it's rebuilding a relationship. That's a great choice. I just have to say, amazing choice. I don't even know if I can top it right now.
I think my top three, the third one can always interchange, which right now I would say it's The Warriors, but my top two, one's my top horror movie, which is 1978 Halloween. It's just such a simple movie, but that music just makes the movie and makes it a classic. And then my all-time favorite, Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart.
Great choices. If I had to, I guess I love Halloween. That would be my top as well. I can't help but be the biggest Karate Kid geek in the entire world. So the Karate Kid movie's got to be on my list. I shouldn't say this. This is okay to keep it. I'm just joking, but I actually took the day off work to binge Cobra Kai during the finale. So like Karate Kid means a lot to me, and I really enjoy that series. So probably anything along those lines. Remember the Titans. I'll throw that in there. I feel like that's my kind of feel-good movie, kind of something a little bit different if I wanted to not go horror. It's hard because we could come up with hundreds.
I actually keep my list separate. My horror list is separate from my favorite film list. Oh, I think even my top five, I told you, Rod, was Shawshank Redemption, Life as a House, American History X,
Blood In, Blood Out.
Blood In, Blood Out, which is another prison gang movie. And what was number five? There's another
gang movie.
Yeah, it's another gang movie.
The father goes to prison and his son gets in the gang.
Oh, South Central?
Yeah, South Central.
And South Central, I'm like...
But it can always rotate in and out.
But yeah, I keep my horror lists separate just because, I don't know, I kind of like to.
Sure.
My top horror film it's 1A and 1B. It's My Bloody Valentine, the original, and Return of the Living Dead.
That's awesome.
Those are my two top. And then it gets real goofy, and there's The Greasy Strangler in there, which is an awful film, but it's fun.
I love House. You remember Ding Dong, You're Dead? You guys like House?
Yeah.
I love that movie so much. Yeah.
Favorite song or band?
Again, it's a genre thing for me. If I'm going band, if I'm going rock right now, it's Dead Poets Society. I don't know if you guys know Dead Poets Society. They've got maybe one song that I've heard on the radio a little bit, but it's just amazing. Look up the latest album, anybody, if you just love a good vocalist. And I'll bring out my inner pop fan and my super inner nerd, but I'm a huge Beyonce fan. I can't help it. I love the song Two Hands to Heaven off of Cowboy Carter. It's my favorite love song. So there's a different side, but I like that one a lot.
I live with a 6-year-old Swiftie, so I have to listen to that quite a bit. But actually, when it's bedtime, she asks Google to play 80s rock music. So I'm like, oh, that's fine. I'm a 70s, 80s most of the time, which is weird. I find in the horror community, because most of the people that are in that community like the heavy screaming metal stuff, and it's just not for me. I do like the older rap. I have a son that's 19 and he listens to the newer stuff. And I'm like, what are they talking about? One song's about fish sticks. I wouldn't imagine it's about fish sticks, but
you guys, I mean, again, a song fits the movie. Like you talk about Halloween, and I just love when the music fits so well. There's this, have you seen Blink Twice? In Blink Twice, when, not to spoil anything, but there's a moment where our protagonists are going to fight back, and the song that comes on, it just says, these motherfuckers can't mess with me or can't stop me. And that's the first song off of Beyonce's Renaissance album, just saying. So not everything is like a cheesy radio song. There's some really deep cuts that fit great with when I'm writing too. I like that.
Music can just seal a movie. I know it sounds like Joe loves Halloween, and I know Rod loves Halloween. I do not like the original Halloween. I like the second one way better. The first one is just too slow. I don't like The Shining, the movie, the original. But then you see my list of ones I like, and you're like, I can't take this guy seriously.
I think it's perfectly okay. And it's really funny because when you talk about the friend who had me watch Life as a House and it became my favorite, also hates Halloween. I just find that really funny. But I love Halloween. When I wrote Darkness Calls, my 3 go-to albums were the It Follows soundtrack. So I love listening to that. That's got a creepy sound. John Carpenter's Lost Themes. If you've never listened listen to that, gosh, I love it. And then just the Stranger Things score, particularly from season 3 with the rats. I would put that song on when I'm writing, like, when the slasher is about to come out or whatever it is. Put that one on. So music helps me write as well. And I find a lot of fun in that.
It Follows. I love It Follows. It's almost cracked my top 10 several times. I love that film. You've seen that, haven't you, Rod?
Yeah, Ghost with an STD.
Yeah.
Yes. Like we just call that herpes.
Yeah, we did in the 80s or whatever. Favorite TV shows?
Oh, well, this is a big can of worms. Right now, obviously, I just finished Cobra Kai. That'll always be up there for me. I love Severance. I love Apple. I think Apple TV has really been killing it. We watched, Shrinking, the therapy one. That is such a great show. I think that is absolutely beautiful. Love Silo as well. Been watching that one. But in terms of like all-time favorites, I'm probably, I just say everyone had to watch. I always loved Game of Thrones. Always loved Lost. So I get into all of them. Stranger Things is right up there. I think is phenomenal. Love the first couple of seasons of American Horror Story. I mean, there's really not a lot I won't give a shot to. I love a good murder mystery, anything along those lines, for sure.
I know Rod's a big Seinfeld fan because anytime we talk about Friends, he's like, it was only better because Seinfeld was off the air. If Seinfeld was still on there, Friends would have been number 2 no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm a big X-Files fan. I love the X-Files.
Yeah, we go 90s. I'm a Quantum Leap guy.
Yeah,
all the way.
I was just about to say that. I love Quantum Leap.
Nice. Yeah, and speaking of physical media, I have a Blu-ray collection up here somewhere. That's probably my favorite series growing up.
Yeah, I love Quantum Leap. That is probably, my favorite. What's the other show that I talk about a lot that only had like 1 or 2 seasons? Oh, Pushing Daisies.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
I don't know if you've ever seen that show.
I know, I've heard of it, but no, I haven't seen it.
And that only got like 1 or 2 seasons. Yeah, Quantum Leap, The X-Files, Night Court. I love Night Court. That's always fun.
I just finished the rest of it, so I'm ready for Clint.
My one co-host on I Like It Spooky Horror podcast loves Night Court. It's probably his favorite show, so he's going to come on and we're going to cover Night Court.
That's great.
But I said, you got to pick your favorite episode. Yeah. 7, 8 seasons of Night Court?
No, 9, I think.
9 seasons. Last question. Favorite books?
Oh, gosh. Again, there's just so many good ones. I'll give you my top go-tos. When it comes to young adult fiction, I love The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Also a great movie. Perks of Being a Wallflower's protagonist could be in Stand By Me. Could be Catcher in the Rye. It's that sort of story. So I love that. I love Ray Bradbury's Dandelion Wine for that sort of childhood magic. If you know Ray Bradbury, of course, he's known mostly for sci-fi, but this is a really beautiful, different kind of story. It's not really scary. There is a boogeyman in it, but I mean, it's a different type of story, and that's a really cool one. My favorite spooky one right now is The Last Time They Lied. I want to say it's Riley Sager. Oh gosh, sorry to the author if I got that wrong, but The Last Time I Lied, and it is a cabin in the woods summer camp Friday the 13th style novel, and it just is perfectly done. You feel like you're in the Friday the 13th movies, and when you can read a book that can captivate you in that sense, I think that's really cool. So I love that one a lot. Of course, I love King novels, but I try to get outside of King. Riley Sager, Grady Hendrix is another good one to explore. Just did an interview with a book podcast, and I was the guest right after Grady, so I felt pretty cool about that. It was Grady and then me. I was like, all right, cool. So, and then I love Ready Player One. Another young adult one that's really good, I think, is We Were Liars. If you want just a fun read that's got a cool twist.
You got any questions, Rod?
Yeah, I mean, so when I looked into you, it said you had 9 books total now, but I only saw maybe 8.
I don't know. I should know, right? No. The truth is, here's the truth. So I have Rabbit and Red as a trilogy. So there's 3 of those. Then I got a contract with a publisher and did a book series called Unveiling Aiden. And 2 of 4 of those are out. That's Singlets and Secrets and Pride and Persistence. And then Darkness Calls will technically be the 6th new one. But if you want to add others, Rabbit and Red as a trilogy version, there's 7. I have a nonfiction book on writing and publishing. There's 8. I have 3 digital novels published under a pen name. So there's 12. So I've written in lots of different ways and lots of different genres and fields and opportunities and kind of trying to learn from a little bit of everything. But yeah, so it's hard to put a number on it because I think technically it would be like 12, but if you were to go into Barnes & Noble, there'd be 5 or 6.
So are we able to find Rabbit and Red then, like in the bookstores everywhere? Okay.
Oh yeah, sure. So Rabbit and Red should be everywhere. Yeah, it's been out for a while, but to be honest with you, I shouldn't tell you this because I won't make anything off of it, but like there are hundreds of copies on eBay for really cheap, and that's kind of cool. I had a book deal. One of my favorite favorite moments, I had this success story with a subscription box in Canada. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Nerd Block or Horror Block specifically. They picked up Rabbit in Red, if you didn't know that.
Oh, nice.
And they shipped that and its sequel. And that's kind of what put me on the radar, is when they bought Rabbit in Red from me. It's a kind of a fun story because my first publisher actually went out of business and shut their doors. And we have just published Rabbit in Red like 3 months ago. But this was a very small publisher. It's a long story. But in short, I think the owner had some health issues and some other things. And they decided to close their doors. 3 months later, Horror Block gave me a call and said, we need to buy 16,000 copies of Rabbit in Red. And I'm like, hey, I got to cut out the middleman and deal with him directly. So it was wonderful. And then they bought Burn the Rabbit as well. And then Horror Block went out of business, you know, and that sucks because I loved them. That was my favorite moment because in Rabbit in Red, my main character subscribes to them. So I kind of flirted with the company and the story. I actually got an email that like the owner of that whole company was just flattered and impressed, you know, that I put them in my book. And so, hey, who knows what could happen when you do things like that. But yeah, so anyway, long answer to lots of different books out there, but frightfest4d.com might take you to my website. It's just also joechianakas.com, but good luck spelling Chianakas, right? So frightfest4d.com.
We'll try to spell it properly in the episode synopsis for the show.
Appreciate you doing that. I see a lot misspelled.
We have never done this, and I don't know that any other podcast has ever done this for you. Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, this is why, like, when we do interviews, I try to bounce it back a little bit because I don't want to just be the only one answering questions, because I bet people listen to your podcast for you guys more than they would for anybody else. So what horror movies or projects that you know of are you looking forward to?
Well, I just recently saw The Monkey based off of Stephen King. Not what I thought it was going to be. I won't say any more because Brian hasn't seen it yet, but I loved it. It will be in my top 10 easily for the year. Yeah. I think this year's going to be really good for horror. It's just, there's going to be a lot of garbage, but I think we could sift through it and find it.
We have so much content, you know, I mean, it's both good and bad. My students, I try to make references all the time, and it would break my heart probably to know that, I wonder how many of them have seen Stand By Me, but I make references to The Karate Kid and Stand By Me and all these types of, I did Lord of the Rings the other day. Not a single person had seen it in my classroom. And I'm just like, get out. It's depressing.
Lord of the Rings isn't on TikTok, so.
It's too long.
How about you, Brian?
I think the thing that is kind of coming around, and it's based on a book series. There's 4 books in this series. Plowing in a Cornfield.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's got its first trailer dropped, you know, at the time of this recording. It dropped a couple days ago, and it looks fun.
It does. Friendo is going to be maybe the new Pennywise or Art the Clown, maybe.
And I don't know if Rod's read the books. I don't know if you've read the books, Joe, but our friend Brett Royer has read the books, and he said the second one is really crazy. So I'm excited for those.
I've seen advertising for that. It looks amazing. I have not read it or anything, but it sounds awesome. That's cool.
I try to, you go to the movies, you get trailers thrown in your face, but I always try to go into movies knowing as little as possible. And 28 years later.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out this year. And I don't know what the theater situation is in Peoria, but I know what it is here where I live in Galesburg. And 28 years later is definitely something I'm going to Davenport, Iowa, the Last Picture House, and seeing. I don't know if you've been to the Last Picture House.
No.
The joke on our show is they have the nicest cup holders in this side of the Mississippi, but it's actually owned by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, who wrote A Quiet Place, Haunt, just made Heretic last year. They wanted a theater in their hometown because they had moved back, and they couldn't see Parasite, the Korean film that was up for Best Picture. They had to go to Iowa City to see it. So they took this old car mechanic shop and made it into a theater, and it's state of the art with a full bar, and the sound system is amazing. The seats are comfortable. I've sent people there and they're like, I'll never watch a movie in another theater again.
Wow.
So, and it's right there on the river. They show stuff at night like Stand By Me probably will show at some point on the rooftop there. I mean, I can't imagine it won't show there at some point, but I'm going to go see 28 years later. Has it been 28 years?
No, it hasn't, but
no, I was like, I don't think it's even
kind of fast forward a little bit. Not too far off.
I think, like Rod said, there's going to be a lot of stuff that is good this year, but I seen Popeye the Slayer Man is already on VOD. So we're going to have to wade through water full of leeches trying to take our money to get to the good stuff. Should be a good year. And it sounds like it's going to be a good year for horror books, because we got one right here that's coming out that sounds like it's going to be really good. Rod's enjoying it.
Yeah, Darkness Calls, everybody.
Appreciate it, y'all. Yeah, again, I'm a word of mouth author. Every single one matters, but this one's surprising me so far. I've got, I had one of those weird emails. I'm like, is this reality? I've had more pre-orders on Darkness Calls than I probably sold Rabbit and Red in 6 months, so it's just mind-blowing. So I hope people like it because it's getting some traction. That's pretty exciting for someone like me I'm still just a little kid at heart who wants to write stories and hopes people like them. That's really all it is.
So when it's being adapted into a screenplay for Netflix with Ralph Macchio starring one of the parents, you're like, we had him on the show.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh.
We had him on the podcast.
My last book, Singlets and Secrets, I got the endorsement of the creator of Cobra Kai. Put it on the back of the book. So John Hurwitz, who's known he wrote the script for Harold and Kumar, all those movies, American Pie Reunion, Cock Blockers, and of course Cobra Kai. That's my biggest endorsement so far, but I got a review from him that we put on the back of the book.
I think my biggest endorsement is Tiffany. She's like, yeah, that was all right. It was good. Significant other. That's all she says.
Yeah.
That's all right. My 6-year-old doesn't even say the show's good. Rod thinks it's all right, I guess, but he's on here. So, well, thank you, Joe. Like we said, go buy Darkness Calls.
Darkness Calls. We got a beautiful hardcover edition out now. Also an ebook anywhere, and a paperback will be out this summer.
I know you can get it at Wordsmith Bookshop in Galesburg, Illinois, right?
Yes, Wordsmith. If you're Galesburg listeners, Wordsmith Bookshop, just so amazing. They're so supportive and wonderful, and what a great, beautiful bookstore downtown Galesburg. I highly recommend that for sure. If you have other Central Illinois listeners, Tales of a Bookworm in Pekin is a great place for horror authors because the owner is a horror fan. He's got a huge section of indie books and so many cool things worth checking out. Definitely recommend that one too.
And if you're anywhere else in the world, Amazon.
Amazon will do it.
Or, reach out to your local bookstore and ask them to order it.
That's the best thing to do, is to try to get it from your local bookstore. And then if you support from a local business, you think about it this way. If you buy it from Amazon, Amazon gets a buck and I get a buck or something. If you buy it from your local bookstore, they get the buck, not Amazon. So I definitely recommend that. Online alternative, you guys didn't know, is a website called bookshop.org. And if you go to bookshop.org, my books are there. And what you can do is when you create an account, you can select a bookstore and they donate the commission to the bookstore that you choose. So you can pick your local hometown bookstore, order online still if you don't want to leave your house, and still send that buck to your local business. So I recommend that.
Any bookstore I've been to, I know Wordsmith does it. I walk in there and they can type up on the computer and order pretty much any book that's on the internet. That's probably, like you said, the best spot to do it, because if you go in and you start telling them you want this stuff, they're going to start carrying more of it, more of it, and more of it. They see people are interested and you're going to have more of a selection and you'll be able to find more stuff that's like Joe's, or just Joe's next 10 books.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need to buy anything else, right?
That's right.
Well, thank you. Say thank you, Rod.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate what you do. And you have such a fun, cool podcast. I appreciate you. And thanks for having me on. And it's been fun talking to you.
I'm sure I'll see you down the road somewhere, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I'll be at Wordsmith again here eventually. So I get up there quite a lot. I'm traveling all over the place. I'm tired, but I've been getting around. It's been pretty fun.
You have your business page on Facebook. People can follow you.
Yes. So if they can spell Chianakas, Chianakas. How about that? But Joe Chianakas, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky. And then, of course, I have a website, frightfest4d.com will take you to it. Frightfest was my original title for Rabbit and Red. And by the way, you know what the title Rabbit and Red comes from, right?
Halloween.
Just super quick story. But I originally, and again, I'm writing a book about horror trivia, and I was titling it Fright Fest originally, just its working title, and then rewatching Halloween for the 10 billionth time. And when I saw that matchbook, I'm like, that's the title. Because if I were to make a movie studio, I would call it Rabbit and Red Studios as a tribute to Halloween. So that's where the title comes from. But here's what's fun. Every Halloween, people will send me messages to my socials screenshotting the Rabbit and Red matchstick as they're rewatching Halloween, and they'll be like, did you know? And it's my favorite message of all time. I was like, oh my gosh, what? I wonder who did it first.
Really? No idea.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for asking about that too. I just had to share that.
Yeah, so follow Joe all over social media. What you got, Rod?
Oh, I didn't know if you had anything else.
I don't think I got anything.
I was going to say, did you have any jokes, Brian?
No, I have not.
Well, I had some about leeches, but they all sucked.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to The Wrong Podcast Died, wherever you get your podcast. I Like It Spooky Horror Podcast. What else do we got? Salute the Shorts is on YouTube's. Appendages.
Indie Spotlight.
God, is that it right now?
You've got Let's Get Physical.
Oh, Let's Get Physical, where I share physical media.
Where he dances like with his leotard and everything on. Let's get physical.
Yeah. Maybe someday I'll have a book on there. Be like, this book. Yeah, I don't read, but look at this book. It's beautiful, and I hear it's really good. I hope you guys have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Since I'm a little under the weather, hey, Clint, until next time.
That marks the end of our broadcast day here at The Wrong Podcast Died. Our transmission is powered by a frequency of 800 watts. We will resume our usual programming in 2 weeks. Until then, we bid you good night.